Buckle up, Buttercup. If you sleep 8 hours every night, it means that by age 20, you've slept over 6.5 years. And by the time you're 30, it's 10 entire years. That's an insane amount of time. So I started wondering, are we just wasting a third of our lives drooling on a pillow? Is sleep actually that important? And what would happen if we just stopped? Well, I tried to find out. Spoiler alert, my brain did not appreciate the experiment. Let's get right into it. My dumb experiment. So a while ago, during summer holidays, 5 friends and I decided to actually answer this question and came up with sort of a challenge. Let's see who can stay awake the longest. No coffee limits, no real rules, just pure sleep deprivation in the name of, honestly, stupidity. The first 12 hours? Easy. That's just a normal day. We are thriving, cracking jokes about our dumb experiment, playing games, feeling like absolute champions. Hour 24, 1 full day without sleep. Things started getting weird. Everything felt slightly off, like reality had a low-budget filter slapped on it. Our coordination was getting sloppy. Simple tasks became less simple. Typing messages, pouring water, suddenly required way more concentration than they should. But we got this. Hour 36, that's when reality started to feel distorted. The room felt slightly tilted, like we were on a boat. Sounds seemed louder. I would turn my head and it took a moment for my brain to load what I was seeing. I was lagging. Time stopped making sense. Is it 4 in the morning or 4 in the afternoon? Who knows? Who cares? Does time even exist? By hour 48, 2 full days without sleep, we officially entered the "this is not funny anymore" phase. We started seeing things. I kept noticing movement in my peripheral vision, like shadows darting across the room. But when I turned to look, nothing there. My friend swore the ceiling was breathing. Another kept answering questions nobody had asked. We were losing our grip on reality. By hour 52, one of us had a brilliant idea. Guys, let's watch Gladiator 2.
Genius.
We all agreed. What happened next? Well, I'll tell you in a bit. But first, let me show you what science says should have been happening to our brains during this idiotic experiment. It's not pretty. The timeline of sleep deprivation. Let's break down what actually starts happening to your brain when you stop sleeping, day by day. Day 1. Just 24 hours without sleep, and your brain is already entering the danger zone. Even if you feel like you're basically fine, studies show your attention, memory, and decision-making take a serious hit. Your reaction time drops by nearly 50%. Your hand-eye coordination is now comparable to extreme fatigue. Your short-term memory becomes unreliable. You'll forget what you were saying mid-sentence. You'll reread the same text 3 times and still have no idea what it said. And emotionally, things start getting off. This is where people become snappy and weirdly emotional over absolutely nothing. In lab studies, subjects report irritability and anxiety. Stress hormones and inflammatory markers start creeping up in the bloodstream. Your body is quietly flipping emergency switches. The scary part? Most people still think they're fine at this stage. If you've ever pulled an all-nighter for an exam, you've been here. You're tired. You feel gross, but you survive. You convince yourself this is manageable. And that false confidence is exactly what makes the next stages so dangerous. Day 2. Now your body stops being subtle about it. This is where things get genuinely weird. Microsleeps start happening. That's when your brain just shuts down for a few seconds without asking permission. Your eyes are open, but your brain has briefly clocked out. You don't notice it happening, but everyone else does. Visually, everything starts breaking. Research shows that by this point, blurry or double vision becomes common. Objects don't look quite right. Depth perception is off. Colors feel wrong. Sounds suddenly feel too loud, or weirdly distant, like someone set reality's volume to random. Time starts misbehaving too. Minutes stretch. Hours vanish. You might feel disconnected from yourself or your surroundings, a state called depersonalization, like you're watching your own life from a few feet behind your eyes. And this is where hallucinations begin knocking on the door. Nothing dramatic yet, just small things. Shadows moving in your peripheral vision. Shapes that disappear when you look directly at them. Flashes of light that absolutely weren't there. Your brain is filling in gaps with nonsense. Emotionally, you're cooked. You might cry at a commercial, then laugh at absolutely nothing. Your immune system starts falling apart and inflammatory markers spike. Biologically, this is no longer being tired. This is your body in full-blown panic mode. Day 3. Welcome to hell. This is when complex hallucinations take over. Not vague shadows, not flickers. We're talking detailed images, voices, things crawling on your skin. Your brain is so desperate for sleep that it starts creating dreams while you're awake. Paranoia sets in fast. Everyone feels suspicious. You start believing people are talking about you, plotting against you, judging you. Speech becomes disorganized. Sentences come out wrong. Complex thinking is impossible. Your mind feels fragmented, like it's made of loose pieces that won't stay together. Some studies describe the mental state at this point as resembling acute psychosis or toxic delirium. Your brain has left the building, and that's just 3 days. Quick quiz! So, about our experiment. After 52 hours awake, just over 2 days, we started watching Gladiator 2. What do you think happened? A. We got emotionally attached and cried. B. We had strong opinions and debated it till morning. C. We fell asleep. If you guessed C, congratulations. We hit play, and I don't even remember the first scene. Within seconds, all 6 of us were out cold. Our experiment didn't even make it to day 3. Gladiator 2 knocked us out like a tranquilizer dart. And just to be clear, this isn't something anyone should ever try. There's a reason sleep deprivation is taken so seriously in medicine. We were actually very lucky we stopped at 52 hours, because one teenager didn't. He beat our record and went way beyond. And what happened to him is genuinely terrifying. But before we get into that, drop a comment below. What's the longest you've ever stayed awake? And what weird stuff started happening to you? When sleep deprivation goes too far. 1964, San Diego. A 17-year-old high school student named Randy Gardner decided that for a science fair project, instead of, making a volcano, he'd see how long he could stay awake. No tricks, no caffeine, just pure, unfiltered consciousness. Word gets out, and this became more than just a stunt. A Stanford sleep researcher, William Dement, monitored him the entire time, along with a Navy doctor tracking his health. We couldn't make it to day 3 with our dumb experiment. Instead, Randy kept going and going.
Wild.
So let's pick up his timeline after the point where most people completely fall apart. By the 4th and 5th day, Randy wasn't just tired, his sense of reality was starting to fracture. He snapped at everyone for no reason. Everything felt hostile. His sense of smell became warped. He felt nauseous. His body was screaming for him to stop. Then the first major hallucination hit. Randy became convinced he was Paul Lowe, a famous football player at the time. He signed autographs for people who weren't there. Everyone else saw an exhausted teenager. Randy saw a stadium full of fans. Around days 6 and 7, things took a darker turn. Randy looked in a mirror and didn't recognize his own face. Think about that for a second. The one face you've seen every day of your life, and your brain just says, "Who the f*** is that guy?" His identity and sense of self were fully wiped. His memory began collapsing. He'd start tasks and forget what he was doing halfway through. Conversations evaporated seconds after they started. Later, Randy compared it to early Alzheimer's. He was 17. By days 8 and 9, his body started falling apart too. His speech became slurred. He walked unsteadily, like his brain had forgotten how legs work. His coordination was gone. Doctors noted constant microsleeps, his brain shutting down for seconds at a time while he was still standing. At this point, he could barely speak in full sentences. Want water? Go home. Tired now. His brain just rage quit. By the final stretch, days 10 and 11, Randy was barely holding on. His hands shook uncontrollably. Paranoia was through the roof. Doctors warned his immune system was failing. His body was shutting down. Total system failure. And then, after 11 days, 264 hours awake, Randy decided to give up. But also, something surreal happened. Randy held a press conference. A teenager who could barely speak stood in front of cameras and answered questions. Afterward, scientists expected him to crash for 2 full days. He slept for just 14 hours and said he felt fine. But he wasn't. Here's the cruel twist. Randy Gardner, the person who proved humans can stay awake for 11 days, went on to suffer from chronic insomnia for the rest of his life. Even decades later, he struggled to sleep more than minutes at a time. Gladiator 2 mercifully knocked us out at 52 hours. Randy didn't tap out, but his brain did. Why Guinness stopped tracking this record. After Randy's experiment, people kept trying to beat his record. Some claimed they stayed awake for 18 days. Others claimed even more. Most of these attempts weren't properly monitored, so it's hard to know whether they were actually awake or just stuck in one long, horrifying hallucination. But one thing was undeniable. The risks were massive. Severe brain damage, permanent insomnia, immune system collapse. Some people who tried to push past Randy never fully recovered their cognitive function. Their brains were permanently altered by sleep deprivation. So eventually, Guinness World Records made a call. In the 1990s, they officially stopped tracking sleep deprivation records. Too dangerous. They didn't want people suffering permanent damage or dying just to get their name in a book. Guinness will happily track the world's largest pizza, the longest fingernails, or how many sausages someone can fit in their mouth. But staying awake too long? That's where they draw the line. And honestly, Smart move, because some records aren't worth breaking. And as we're about to see, sleep isn't just turning your body off, it's literally keeping you alive. Why sleep actually matters. So here's the big question. Why is sleep this important? What's actually happening when we're unconscious that makes it life or death? Here's the truth. Sleep isn't just rest. It's maintenance. Your body has a to-do list it can only complete while you're asleep. Let's break it down. Every night, your body goes through 4 to 6 sleep cycles, each lasting roughly 90 minutes. If you get 7 to 9 hours of sleep, that gives your body multiple chances to run both software updates and hardware repairs at different stages. First up, light sleep, which consists of 10 to 30 minutes during the first cycles and gets longer toward morning. Your heart rate slows, brain waves calm down, blood pressure drops. This makes up roughly 40 to 50% of your total sleep time. Think of it as your body easing itself offline and prepping for deeper repair. Then comes deep sleep, mostly in the first half of the night. This is your body's true hardware repair mode. Early on, deep sleep can last 20 to 40 minutes per cycle, then gradually decreases. In total, most people spend about 1 to 2 hours per night in deep sleep, roughly 15 to 25% of their total sleep time. This is when damaged tissues are repaired, muscles and bone are rebuilt, immune cells are produced, and your brain clears out metabolic waste, like a janitor cleaning up after closing time. Skip this stage, and your body's ability to repair itself drops fast. And then there's REM sleep, the software update. REM starts about 90 minutes after you fall asleep. Early REM cycles are short, maybe 10 minutes, but they get longer as the night goes on. The final REM period can last close to an hour. Altogether, REM makes up about 20 to 25% of your sleep. This is when your brain consolidates memories, reinforces skills you practice during the day, and processes emotions, which is why you sometimes wake up feeling differently about something that upset you the day before. Dreaming? One big theory is that it's your brain sorting information, deciding what to keep and what to discard. Without sleep, this entire system breaks down. Memory formation suffers, emotional regulation collapses, immune function weakens, healing slows. Think of your body like a phone. You can push it to 10%, maybe even 1%, but eventually, it shuts down whether you like it or not. Sleep is the charger. That wasted third of your life isn't wasted at all. It's keeping you alive. Sleep isn't optional. It's survival. And there you have it. Why trying to stay awake forever is a truly terrible idea. I'm Gigi, and if this video didn't permanently reduce your IQ, hit subscribe for the next one. And until next time, stay curious and stay well rested. Your body's been working night shifts your entire life. Maybe give it a raise in the form of 8 hours of sleep. It deserves it. Hey, you might like this video too.